Hello! Welcome to Critical Recap. I'm Dani Carr, and I'm here to catch you up on the latest episode of Critical Role. You can also catch up with the Critical Role podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Google. Make sure to check out critroll.com for cool merch and information on events like Denver Pop Culture Con, Gen Con, and more. Now, here's what happened on episode 62, Domestic Respite. The Mighty Nein are gifted a house from the Bright Queen and get to work claiming bedrooms. They also add a laboratory study, a war room, a happy room, a training room, and a hot tub. Clay makes a rooftop garden, using his tree token to grow a tree on top of the tower.
So you watch as suddenly a series of branches begin to extend like rapid spider legs. And as they reach out, leaves flower on the edges of these branches until eventually a large trunk fires up into the sky, the canopy expanding above to a 60-foot tall tree.
They furnish the house, including chimes to warn of intruders, and Jester buys paints, adding decorations to the rooms. She paints wildflowers and yashas to her delight. Clay and Jester cast daylight into vials to create a string of lights for the rooftop garden, to the envy of their neighbors, who are also taken with the tree. Jester checks in with Luke and Allfield and asks Ford about the Golden Chain mercenaries, who Jester's mother has been seeing more of around the lavish chateau. They are extremely skilled hired hands, who are now bodyguards for the wealthy. Caleb asks Nott about the letter that she wrote to Astrid. She explains that she and Jester were just trying to connect him with someone from his past, as at the time, they did not know that Astrid was a bad memory. Jester messages the Pillow Trove, learning that she has a package from Caliana and a letter from the Solstice Academy. Caleb is worried that the usage of the last name Lavore could trace back to her mother and to him. He talks to Bo as well, wanting to form a plan, as neither of them truly consider themselves traitors to the Empire. Bo doesn't know whether to include Dyron or not, feeling conflicted and knowing they need to be strategic.
You're here to root out corruption. In our home, you want to root out corruption. Dyron wants to root out corruption. My whole childhood is mired in it. And maybe we work one side and get what we want on the other. But I don't think we can just run roughshod over the Empire and do whatever we want. We're going to get killed.
Yasha tries to get her new bracers enchanted and meets Enchanter Yan, who tells her that the enchantment is very costly. Yasha places a down payment on the bracers, with Ford helping her pay for it. Essek Thalis comes by their keep, and Ford instructs Bo on how to be a good hostess. Caleb mentions wanting to learn Dunamancy, so Thalis teaches him 2 spells that deal with bending fate and destiny, telling him to remember the favor. Later, Caleb corners Ford in his room, asking him directly as to why he uses a different voice when he thinks he is alone. Ford is hesitant, and Caleb explains that as the 9 have now bound themselves together, he wants to know Ford better and feels he hasn't been truthful. Ford says that he has a hard time talking about himself, that he was reinvented after he woke up on the shore, and that he prefers this new version of himself.
I promise you, here and now, there is no danger from my past. I like this me. I love it. If I would have my way, none of you would ever know anything about who I was before, and I mean that.
He asks Caleb to give him some time to open up, and Caleb accepts that. Clay examines the blades, learning they were broken from the inside, while Jester tries out her new hair oil and attempts to make Sprinkle a house in the tree, making him unhappy. They use their war room to discuss Nott's desire to unite her family. After a lot of discussion, they reach out to Shikasta, who agrees to escort Luke and Edith to Nicodranus so that the 9 can teleport to them. They discuss the Overcrow, deciding to visit it, and have Ford distract the shopkeep while the others investigate. There is a bit of bumbling, but they do manage to sneak into the back of the shop and find a drug called Sood. They also discover that the shopkeep has an invisible bugbear assistant and is probably running a drug front. They're still 2 days away from the meeting at the Overcrow. They buy a map of Jorhas from the general store and are able to see just how deep in the country they are. Jester scries on the blonde man again, seeing him taking notes as others are in a meeting. She hears them talking about an attack on the Ashkeeper Peaks, possibly hiring the Golden Chain, sending in the Scourgers, and saying my liege. Jester informs the 9, and Bo remembers that Scourgers are a name for the royal assassins. Caleb knows them as Volstruckers, what he was being trained for. They decide to tell the Bright Queen what they saw, though it means picking a side. Ford convinces Bo to tell Dyron as well, despite her fears.
It's not the Empire that I care about. I just think the more and more that I'm on the ground and I'm walking and I'm seeing the faces of people from city to city, and everyone's the fucking same.
The The Nine head to the Lucid Bastion, and that is it for episode 62 of Critical Role. But is that really it? I have some thoughts. Holy shit, y'all! Are the Nine choosing a side? Xhorhas over Empire? Will the Bright Queen even believe them? Is Bo going to tell Dairon what happened? Will Dairon even accept her anymore? Are the Scourgers coming? Is Astrid still a Scourger? What's in that letter from the Academy? Is Ford going to ever open up? Is the tower really strong enough to hold the weight of that 60-foot tree? Oh, mighty Nine. Anyway, catch episode 63 on Thursday, May 16th at 7 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Critical Role, or a week later on our podcast. And make sure to stay tuned to critroll.com for all the latest updates.